This time on American Forked.
The specific weather.
Thank you, Weatherman Phil.
50% snowpack.
I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm curious, like, how you guys talk to your kids about sex.
Whoa, what?
So
We're supposed to do
Utah
that?
does not have their own police department, so they contract
that
with
would
UPD.
repeal the section of Utah law that allowed for the creation of the Unified Police Department. Do your kids call you a boomer?
What's up with the Chinese balloons?
So apparently the sky is falling.
So you're saying that a car lot in China was having a sale, and it just got cut off by accident and just floated over to the United
Oh,
States.
yeah. It's a good thing that we canceled Russia right at the beginning so that it just put a stop to that war.
Joe Rogan's viewership, it says Joe Rogan's experience reaches an average of 11 million people
11
per
million.
episode.
Yeah, that's like twice as many as we get. This is American Forked.
Welcome to the American Fork Podcast. We're starting late, but you don't know that because we're still releasing the show when it's done.
Oh,
Thanks for listening. Happy time of day you're listening to us. We appreciate you being here. This is the American Forked Podcast, where
Yes.
we have given up trying to fix America. Now we just talk about stuff that's going on.
We did?
No, we don't.
Oh,
no, we're going to
we're
fix
still
it.
fixing it?
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey.
I'll do it myself.
That was on my to-do list today, so
Fix America?
yeah.
That's because we're meeting
Yeah.
today.
Okay.
All right.
We're
So
going to fix America
we'll keep-
without talking about politics.
We'll keep trying to fix America. Politics always come up, though.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
So, hi everybody. We're still have the show. Obviously, we haven't been meeting every week, but we still get together on a regular basis. and
Jake's
talk.
been trying to like advance his career or something.
Mhm.
Some responsible thing.
Yeah.
Taking a web design boot camp.
What, did they yell at you? Why do they call it boot camp? Because they yell at you?
I have to do 50 push-ups at the beginning of every one, and
On your feet, maggot!
Here's a semicolon. Damn it.
I'll show you a little something to get your mind off that pain. Anyway, so I have two friends here with me.
Yes.
Jeff sitting across from me.
Hi,
Jeff.
Jake. Hi, Jake.
How are you?
Hi, Jake. Hi, Jake.
Good. Hi, Phil.
I'm good.
Phil's
thanks.
here too. And me. My name's Jake. So I wanted to give you guys some little updates what's going on in our lives individually.
Oh, yeah. What's going on in your life, Jakey?
Well, so I officially changed my mom's name in my phone
Oh,
from Linda to Mom.
I thought you
Oh.
changed your mom's name legally.
Nope.
I was like, that seems
Well,
like something
it's
she'd
pretty
need to
close
do.
to that, right?
You
Isn't
know-
that when they changed their phone and the name in the phone, it's legally.
You know, I've tried to do that like 3 times, but for some reason, whatever my wife names people in her phone becomes that in my phone.
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
So you tried to change Jake's mom's name from Linda to Mom, but it switched back because it's in your wife's phone as
As Linda.
Linda.
Like I will change my mom and dad to Mom and Dad, but then they get changed to their proper names.
Sir
Yeah.
and ma'am.
Sarah and
Xavier.
Ma'am. Yeah. And it's something to do with our Apple
Yeah.
ID because
Yeah.
we share
You have
one.
a family shared Apple
Yeah,
thing.
But she has her own because we kind of fixed it, so she has her own. But here's a real weird one, not to derail. Yeah, we got a
but
new
you're going to anyway.
we got a new computer. I created a login for my wife, and she chose like a cute little animal for the little picture that you click on
Mhm.
for her login
Mhm.
that like is animated or whatever.
An emoji.
Because it's Apple. Anyway, for some reason, because she chose that bear on her computer, my emails in my Gmail
Have that little
have that
emoji.
logo. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Isn't that bizarre?
I think you have a haunted computer.
Something's weird because
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out
That
at
is
all.
weird.
Maybe you need to get a phone that's not 12 years old.
Could be. That could be the problem.
It just mimics other devices because that's the
Yeah.
only way it can keep up. I'm an iPhone 4. What are you guys doing? Oh,
It's an SE, Jeff. It's the
4
best.
SE. Okay.
It's the best iPhone ever made. Anyway,
It's up for debate.
So you changed your mom's
changed-
the name in your phone to mom.
Yeah.
Finally.
And dad is no longer Lloyd.
Lloyd?
He's not Lloyd. He's dad.
Okay.
So received some pushback from somebody that I know.
That found your phone and was going through it and was like, why am I called this?
No,
Yeah.
I just thought it would be more personal that way.
Wow.
Because if somebody finds my phone
Uh-huh.
and they go through my contacts,
Oh yeah, they'll be like,
They
I better
might be
call
like,
I better call his
I
mom.
better reach out to his mom.
Yeah,
Give him
Yeah.
his phone.
exactly.
Mhm.
Your phone will be locked, but
They won't be able to get into it.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I've thought the same thing. And that's why I had the concern, because I'm like, someone will find my phone and not know who to contact because everyone in there, like my wife's not listed as wife. My parents aren't listed as parents.
hmm
So it'll just be a bunch of names.
But it is locked, so they can't get into it anyway.
Yeah, it's locked.
My
so.
my lock screen used to say WWJD and my phone number. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
someone found it, they'd be like, "Oh, what would Jesus
what
do?"
would Jeff do? Oh.
And then they'd call me and
yeah.
say, "I got your phone." But now I've got a little QR code on the back of my phone, so they can scan it when they find it. And if they're honest, which probably doesn't happen, it'll email me, say the location of
Oh.
the phone.
That's a cute idea. It's cute that, like, in the case of your horrible manglement in a car accident, that there's some way for someone to get your phone back to you.
Yeah, if my head comes off, they
I-
won't know if it's me.
Yeah.
I found a iPhone sitting in the middle of an intersection, and it was pretty cool actually because I pushed buttons, and obviously I couldn't unlock it. But then I started pushing a bunch of buttons, and there's like emergency on the bottom of the iPhone.
Yeah.
I clicked it, and it not only showed this lady a picture of her, like there's some medical information if you wanted to put it on there, but it was blank, and it had her husband's phone number.
Oh,
So I
cool.
took my phone and
Got
I
like
called
an-
her phone number, and I'm like, "Hey, I found your wife's phone," and he's like, "Where did you get my number from?" Like he was freaked out. He's like, "This is so weird." So I got his address and took it over there. And even she was like, "How did you, what?" Like she was so confused.
Mm-hmm.
But you can set your iPhone up so
So
that
you have an
can
emergency profile.
an emergency contact on there. Don't put your own phone number, Phil,
Yeah.
because that, you know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What else is new, Jake?
So I'm still doing fried chicken reviews.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did you find any that's better?
Under the handle Fried Chick Review, like CHIK. And this Clucks in Orem is still number one so far.
Yeah, that
with
was
a
good.
9.5 rating. I still go there regularly. But there's a new place in Lehigh
Uh-huh.
called Houston, Texas Hot Chicken.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
They just opened in Lehigh. And everyone is sharing with me that there's a new location in Lehigh. So I know, I'm aware. No one needs
Yeah,
to tell
shut
me
up.
anymore.
Don't.
I'm going there next week. Okay.
We'll get it done. Hurry up.
Hurry.
And I'll have a review submitted on the TikToks and the Instagrams.
You know, I like the Clucks chicken, and I've realized that I think the perfect combination is going to be their chicken with Wingers sauce.
Mm.
And I'm going to try that one day.
Get their wings, take them home,
You-
put their sauce on,
you-
the amazing sauce
No,
on it.
no. Don't take them home. Because I did
Take the
that.
sauce to the restaurant.
Because I ordered DoorDash from Clucks once, and it was
It was slow
It's
mosey.
fried food that's been sitting in
yeah,
a
fried food.
Ugh.
Not
styrofoam
good.
thing for
Ugh.
I'm gonna
20
buy.
minutes.
I'm gonna buy the Winger sauce at
Take it
Wingers.
in.
Take it to the Clucks chicken. And,
Give it to the chef.
and
Say,
tell
put
it.
this on
Yeah.
right instead of the other sauce. Put this one on instead.
Yeah, it's better.
Or I'll just put it on myself.
Make sure and
Either
tell them
one.
it's way better than theirs.
Yeah,
They'll appreciate it.
this is way better.
Love your chicken. Sauce is gross. Can you put this on, please?
Yes,
Don't
thank you.
spit on it. Thank you.
No, because I used to love Wingers, but the quality of their chicken has gone down a lot. It's like
Yeah.
Oh, has
sinewy. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Sinewy has sinews in it.
Sinewy and meager.
Wow.
Is that a good?
Those are words.
Is
I
that a
can go home
comedy?
now.
Is that a comedy duo?
Yeah,
Sinew.
Up next, Siniger and Duo. What?
sinewy and meager. They're just not very like plump pieces of chicken, and they're like the worst parts of the chicken.
I think they need more GMOs for sure.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I mean so Clucks uses all of the other really good ones that I've rated are use chicken thigh,
Yeah.
which is the secret for tender,
Yeah,
juicy chicken. But Clucks uses a chicken breast, and it's like twice the size of the bun.
yeah.
So are full by the time you get to the bun because you've eaten the chicken all the way around.
I'm more of a bun guy. The breasts, I'm kind of over them.
You like buns?
Because I grew up.
Mm.
I'm an adult now. I
You
like
like-
buns.
Like
I
your
don't-
bottom guy.
I don't like
like the-
breasts.
But I don't like bread. I've realized.
I'm talking about women's bodies.
Oh,
I like buns,
you're
not breasts.
objectifying women instead of
Comparing
talking
them
about
to a chicken sandwich, yes.
Okay,
I'm glad that you got caught up real quick.
I'm here.
And on Jeff's handle, Fried Chick Review, it's a completely different.
Fried chicks review.
.com.
It's women with sunburns.
It's not
So-
far off.
So that's what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
What about Jeff? What's
Jeff?
something you done?
Oh, I am sick and tired of winter. I think around this
yeah.
time every year, I go, I'm ready for spring. But at the end of summer, I think the same thing. I'm like, I'm ready for winter. But I think I'm officially done. I feel like cabin fever.
It's been
like
cold.
house locked. Is that a word?
Cabin fever. Yeah.
Well, good thing for you that tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and not the day after that, but the day after that,
Or slightly above freezing.
we'll get snow
Weather brought to you by Phil.
all those
The
days.
specific weather.
Thank you, Weatherman Phil.
So by the time you're listening to this, it might be snowing,
Unless you're listening in Florida or
which
something.
is freaking awesome. 100% chance on Tuesday.
That's great.
Yeah.
I will say, I did hear that, which this is a good thing that's come from this winter, that the Davis water system, Davis County, like that, like Ogden north of us, that they're at 150% snowpack. If they hit 200, like they're expecting by the end of the season, every single one of the reservoirs, which I think there's like 6 or 7, will be full.
Wow.
100%
In Davis
capacity.
County.
Yeah. Which I'm just assuming that it's going to be a very positive impact for the Salt Lake. I don't know if it's actually called Salt Lake, but like
Where do all those reservoirs run to?
yeah, it goes up from like Echo Reservoir. This is in the Davis district, Echo Reservoir down to like Pine View,
Yeah.
and then it leaks into the Willard Bay in the Great Salt Lake. But
Mhm.
yeah, they're expecting, and the guy was like reporting on it. He's like, honestly, he's like the CEO of whatever group that runs that. And he's like, honestly, I was shocked at this information, but
Yeah.
we've double checked it and it is correct. He's like, we still need storms, but the way things have been going, we're going to get them. And yeah,
What would it take to get to 200%
another
Some more
another
snow.
50%.
for Governor Cox to say pray for more snow?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Governor.
Yeah. So that's happening. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to go camping.
Yeah.
I'm ready to put some seeds in the ground.
Yeah,
What is-
I work.
doing what?
What?
Oh, gardening.
Yeah, garden. I'm
Okay.
referring to
You're not
gardening.
spilling your seed in the ground.
I worked in Las Vegas this week. It was cold down there. It snowed on Valentine's Day.
Do the listeners know you're a traveling stripper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They do. I put that on the website.
Okay.
He doesn't even put the podcast on there. He just
Yeah.
puts stuff from his
Phil.
adventures.
So you were working in Vegas last week?
Valentine's Day.
Yep.
And you made it rain. I mean, snow.
So, you made it rain. What were you? What was it like in Vegas?
Was your job really busy on Valentine's? All the singles?
ladies?
Yeah, that was my job.
Mhm.
Cool. So you were working in Vegas last week,
And it
and
snowed.
what? And it was snowing. What's the story?
It snowed.
It
That
really
was-
did.
Yeah, it didn't. Nothing sticked, but for probably 2 hours,
Pretty
I think
sure
it's
the word
stickified.
stuck.
nothing stuck.
Stickified.
But
Stuck did.
for probably 2 hours, some snow came down. It was cold, and we got like 50-mile-an-hour gusts of wind.
Ooh,
Pretty raunchy.
yeah, that's cold. It's
Yeah.
been cold and miserable. That's why I'm over it.
Yeah.
And on other news, my daughter has her first boyfriend.
Oh my gosh!
Jeff.
Have you had the talk with her
Congratulations.
about how boyfriends work?
Stripping.
Boyfriends work.
How
Or they
boyfriends
don't work at all.
I told her that boys are dumb and you need to tell them. You can't just assume that they know.
Yeah.
So I did talk to her about that. Let's see. Let's go through the list. I talked to her that the weight of their heart is their stomach. Is that what you were talking
Oh,
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I told her that
No means no.
no means no.
Yeah.
What else should I talk about?
I don't
with
know.
them?
I'm just curious. I'm curious, like how you guys talk to your kids about sex.
Whoa, what?
So
We're
how,
supposed to do that?
how did it come up as far as she just came home. She's like, oh, I got a boyfriend. Or did you have to prod?
My kids are not good examples because they're like superhuman. Like they're amazing kids. And I'm not joking
I think they're
about
great
that.
examples.
They're really, really easy to deal with. And yes, I've had the sex talk with them. And what happened with Bella is that's my daughter. And just for the listeners, I think the oldest kid out of us tight-knit group of friends. I think so.
I think so.
It's just weird because she's 14. When I was 14, I think I was still digging up worms and seeing what they tasted like. Or I don't know what I was doing, but I was not dating girls. That was for sure.
Oh, literally digging up worms. That wasn't a
Oh, there's no
metaphor for-
euphemism there. No. I'm literally digging up worms, playing army man, probably.
Mhm.
But so it's a little weird for me to have her doing that. But that's pretty normal, I guess. I mean,
To have it
outside
be
of
weird.
to be outside of like the Mormon community, like we grew up, or the Latter-day Saints, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And
For now. Yeah, that's what it's called.
like my wife did not grow up LDS, and so she's like, yeah, that's about the right time.
How old?
She's 14.
14 to start like having a boyfriend or
Yeah.
kissing and touching and
No.
no. Oh,
So like I said, I definitely leave a lot up to my kids to decide, but I talk to them why, So
Yeah.
I've definitely talked to them, and they're not dumb. They know certain like mechanics. I haven't gotten into like mechanics of it. I think that's like a little too early for that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sure she knows. Like, hello, the internet.
so you haven't got into like detail.
No.
Oh,
But like, she's got a little brother, changes his diapers. She knows what a penis looks like,
yeah.
So I don't have to get into that.
So she's got that.
So there's
check.
that, I guess. What we've talked a lot about just basic rules.
Yeah.
And like one of them is that they're not allowed to be alone together.
Yeah.
Not just in a room, but like in a house.
Right.
Like, I don't care if you're just hanging out in the living room.
Anywhere.
If nobody's home, like you guys aren't hanging out together. So, because he's only 15 too.
This is horrifying.
It is actually. I'm not joking.
horrified for you.
I was just talking to Mike about this on the other day, our buddy Mike, and anyway, it's insane. It does a weird thing to you emotionally as a dad. One of the things I pinned down for myself though was that the hardest part for me, and this sounds very touching, so get ready to cry. You guys got tissues?
Oh boy, I got some right
Okay,
here.
good.
Right here.
So the thing is, I realize the reason it's so hard for me is not because it's embarrassing or it's weird. It's literally because my little girl has only loved me as a man.
Yeah.
And now she likes another boy.
And now she can't even remember who you are.
She can't stand me.
Yeah.
No, my daughter's amazing, but like it's weird. It's like now I have to share her almost, but it's obviously not any sexual thing. It's like your wife, it's not like that part. It's like you have to let her go a little bit as your little girl.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part for me. Wipe that tear away, Jim.
That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I wondered because like we've talked, our daughter is 9. We've talked to her about it so far. And I'm like, how often should I follow up? Like what's
Is there an
the
app
normal
for that?
Yeah. What's the normal amount of like sex talk to be having with your kids? I don't know. What do you think?
I think it differs per child.
Well,
That's
my
true.
first 2, I've got 3 kids. My first 2 are completely different. My oldest is Zoe, my daughter, and she does not talk about anything related to that at all.
yeah.
Never volunteers information. They have to like prod. She went to classic skating yesterday, and I was like, is your boyfriend going to be there?
Yeah.
She's like, no. She didn't say I don't have a boyfriend. She always says that when I ask, is your boyfriend going to be there?
Yeah.
She just says no. So, I assume maybe she likes somebody or something, but she never volunteers information. She's like me. When I had a girlfriend,
You didn't tell your
never
parents
told
anything.
my parents I had a girlfriend.
You're
Oh.
also the only friend that would
Late
make
high
out in
school.
front of every other one of us.
Uh-huh.
In the middle of the street.
Yeah, I was
So
the
you
one
hide
that
it from your
always had a
parents, but
girlfriend.
like put it in a trophy case for all your friends.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand that. Go on.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry for you to hear it
Linda.
that way, Linda.
Yeah, Mom, if you want to get my number, we'll talk about what Jake did in high school.
I think Trent's been on the show, so she's heard
Yeah.
what I've done. But and then my son Logan, like he's always talking about who's crushing on who, what friend of his kissed what girl,
Which is funny
and
that it's the boy that's doing that.
yeah,
And then Z's a little
Yeah.
bit like more reserved on it.
yeah. So I'm kind of like relieved because it's my daughter, so naturally my wife's supposed to talk to her, right?
Oh,
About
yeah. I get
stuff like that. So just kidding. No, I mean we try to talk to our kids. We've given them like family home evening lessons on stuff, but yeah, Zoe doesn't volunteer that information at all, but Logan does
Huh,
pretty
interesting.
readily. We at any given time we know who his crush is.
That's funny. I have a 6th grader too, and we've talked about it, and it's coming up more because her sister has a boyfriend, right? And she's so funny because she has a lot of friends at school that are like Zoe, or like like your boy. They're always talking about who likes who, and this person's like
Mhm.
this and whatever. And Penny is just like, I don't understand. So you get a boyfriend. You're in 6th grade. What are you gonna do? That's like her
Yeah.
attitude about it.
Yeah.
She's like, where's it gonna go from there? And I said, that's right, Penny. I'm the only boy you'll ever love. And she's like, I don't think so. I want kids. Which is so funny. But that's like I said, my girls are very logical and like pretty level headed about this stuff, you know. But I'm blown away that in 6th grade they're talking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was always a few kids that did that in school, but it's never a big deal.
Yeah.
It was always like, oh yeah, that's them. But
Yeah,
anyway.
it was like a huge dramatic event with my son's group of friends. They had a group text going on, and oh my gosh, Tice kissed Story was the girl's name, and everyone freaked out because another one of the kids in the group, or no, it wasn't Tice, it was Porter kissed Story, but Tice likes Story, and so Tice was freaking out, and it was like this huge drama thing. It's
Yeah,
funny.
and
And they're
that-
6th grade.
in the 6th grade, they're like, oh, she cheated on him. And you're like, what does that mean? She gave a note to someone else, or like held someone else's hand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I will say that the internet and the social media thing, I think, has pushed that line back like younger and younger and younger because kids are exposed to it. And I think that's also why,
You mean forward, like kids are learning about it earlier?
yeah, not just learning about it, but like it's becoming important, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Where, like I said, in 6th grade when we were going to school, I mean, I don't know this for sure because we also have the predominantly LDS community that we grew up in, but like, is it that, or is the line actually being pushed back further where now in 5th and 6th grade, it's actually kind of a big deal, like who's cute, who's not. Like, I never remember any of that stuff until we basically got like later in junior high. you
Yeah.
know?
I can't remember anybody kissing anybody in the 6th grade. It wasn't till junior high that
Well,
that
I was in
stuff
California,
started
so
happening. Oh,
And they were all there was like orgies there.
in the street.
In
That's
California.
where he learned it was.
in the streets
In the middle of the
streets of
streets.
Clovis, California.
No, I just thought it was interesting. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, "What? I wonder what my friends do." Like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
You know
it
what
probably does depend on the kid. And
I know this is
all
what you
that.
want to hear. So I specifically talked to my daughter and I said, what do you think is appropriate?
right,
Like, I wanted to see where she was at before I
Yeah.
started just spilling my guts on like whatever, because I don't know what she thought was right or wrong.
yeah,
And then she'd be like, I don't think kissing's okay. I can't remember the exact conversation. Like, I don't think kissing's okay. And then I had to tell her and talk to her. Like,
yeah,
there's many different kissing. There's like kissing with the open mouth.
There's good
Kissing
kissing
on the
and bad
cheek.
kissing.
No, that's not what I got into.
Oh, right.
But it's
There's
like,
Power
Jake
kissing.
kissing.
There's
Power
like,
kissing.
yeah. There's anyway. But it's like, yeah, there's kissing on the cheek. There's kissing on the lips. There's kissing on the lips like you kiss me. There's kissing on the lips like you'd kiss a boy. There's open mouth kissing, and then it just goes off. And I'm like,
Like Trent should
so
be doing.
which one of those do you think is appropriate or not? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
And I had to explain to her, like, there's different things, like, you know,
Yeah.
Touching. You can't just say touching because it's like there's holding hands, there's putting your arm around somebody, there's slapping them in the butt,
There's heavy petting.
there's grabbing their boobies. Like there's all kinds of touching that can occur. So where's the line on that? To her, I ask her.
Yeah.
And you know what I found with her? She already had my thoughts of what was appropriate or less. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's telling me, she's like, oh, he's going to work for it.
Yeah.
He's got to work for it. Took him forever just to give me a hug. I'm like, okay, cool.
All right.
She's
Sweet.
got
That's-
a mentality that's right. So, and then I just try and help her understand what goes on in a boy's mind,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Just pure
horny
trash.
garbage, procreate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, and I told her, I'm like, you get to a point where it's like, it from this point, it escalates pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like, and
You never
don't-
go backwards.
Yeah.
You never like start from scratch again.
No, not in
You really start from what you're most comfortable with and then move forward. So
right.
yeah, you got to be careful.
Like start your relationship with high fives.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And then that's
and
it.
nothing else.
You
For
do
5
not,
years.
and do not make eye contact while you high five. Anyway,
I like it.
how's your life going, Phil?
No, I'm good.
What's going on?
I was just curious.
Your back still broken?
No, do you got no? Yeah, was your back broken still, or did
No,
aliens fix
I
it?
think it's better. It hurt a bit last night. I had to drive back from Vegas, but it's all right.
All that exotic dancing kind of fixed your back a
Yeah.
little bit.
Dancing's the worst. It's like those quick motions.
Twerking, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been pretty good. I'm very lucky, I think, as far as back breaks go.
Yeah.
I found out, did I tell you it was actually 2 vertebrae?
Oh,
So I got the thing from the insurance. Oh, can I tell you my rant about
Go ahead.
that?
Phil,
Ranted
we're asking
all
how
the
to.
way.
It's not like you have anything planned.
The floor
No,
is yours.
I don't have like a ton of things.
This
to
is
talk about.
us updating each other in our lives
Oh,
and
so-
the listener.
So I really wish I'd recorded all of these phone calls because it actually would have been really good content. But I'll play from my memory, which is obviously Phil embellished, which might be even better. But
Phil bellished.
I go to the emergency room. They take their scans. I lay in a bed for an hour. They come in. They're like, put this brace on. They put a brace on me, and I go home with the brace. They hand me a piece of paper, say, sign this, acknowledging that we showed you how to put the brace on. Okay, so I sign it without reading it.
Uh-huh.
I'm in pain, whatever.
Mhm.
So anyway, get a bill from the insurance, or not from the insurance, from a third party
Yeah.
company
Mhm.
who I apparently purchased this brace from. And I owe them $250. The insurance covered like $1,100 or something
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
So
1,100 of the 250? Or
No,
that's the remaining balance?
1,100 plus 250 is how much
yeah,
they billed.
and it might have been even more than that because it was like 16, it was like 15 something total. And I was curious because my mother had recently broken her back. She's a nurse, and she had told me, oh, did they send you home with a brace? I said, yeah. She said, oh, I wish I would have warned you that they way overcharge for those braces
Yep.
at the hospital. So me being curious, I do a little research. I look up this exact same brace, the exact model, the exact configuration, and the prices I'm coming up with from medical retailers online. So
Yeah.
not Amazon or eBay,
Mhm.
like
Right.
medical supply
Where the
companies.
doctors get them from.
Right.
Alibaba. Go on.
Alibaba.
eBay.
Anyway, it ranged from like 350 to like 425.
Wow.
So this was like crazy. So I call this company that I apparently purchased the brace from because I called the hospital first. I said, I don't want this. I never used it. It didn't help me. Can I just bring it back? They say, no, you actually purchased it from a third party. You're going to have to call them. So I call the third party. I said, I don't want this. It didn't work. I didn't use it. Can I just send it back to you? They said, no, we don't take refunds. I said, well, I do have a concern that you guys are charging like 3 or 4 times, what other people are charging for this thing. And they said, well, you signed for it. That's what we're charging. I said, yeah, if this was just like a business, that's one thing. But IHC, Intermountain Healthcare, is a nonprofit company. And nonprofits have to operate by a very kind of specific code of ethics, meaning they're
No frivolous spending. is
well,
probably one of them.
yeah, but they have to provide a benefit to somebody, and I'm like, how is that a benefit to somebody to overcharge them by that much? And they basically just shrugged it off and said, well, your problem. And I said, well, I'm going to escalate this on up the line. I'm going to report this to, well, and I asked them, I said, how are you even coming up with that price? And they said that they base their price based on what Medicare pays for it. So I call Medicare. I say, they're claiming that they base their price for this thing off of what you pay for it. I'm just wondering if that's true. And if so, why you guys are paying 3-4 times as much for it than it actually costs.
Mm-hmm.
So the lady at Medicare walks me through like the medical code lookup thing online, and I find out they're paying $1,300 for this thing.
Wow.
So our government is paying more than 3 times what this device costs. And when I say cost, I mean, if it retails for $400, that means that company is making money off of it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what that is. Maybe they're making $5. More likely, they're probably making $200.
Yes.
Because this thing's made in China. There's a markup there. So for these companies, so I complained to the Medicare lady. I said, what you're paying for this is actually driving up the cost for everybody, because all these companies are saying this is what Medicare pays.
Right.
So this is what we should be charging. She said, well, I'll escalate this on up the line. Anyway, I've made a stink with like every healthcare agency or whatever on the state and federal level to get these wheels turning. And my insurance company called me back and they're like, we're just trying to understand what you want out of this. And I said, I'll tell you, I don't want you to just write me back and say we're paying the $250. I want them to not be charging $1,600 for a $200 medical device. And she said, okay, I got you. And we're going to see what we can do here. And
it's unethical.
It is. It's way unethical. Not just because, so we're on the insurance marketplace because I'm self-employed. So our insurance is government subsidized. We pay monthly, but the government picks up some of that every month. So not only is the government setting the price of the device, but they're also paying part of it.
Yeah.
But also driving up the cost. Like the government is self-inflating its own expenses.
Yeah. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing.
Right.
And that's one of the major drivers for Obamacare was prices are so high in the publicly, or privately. With Obamacare, we want to fix that.
Yeah.
But really, at least for this back brace, it seems like they probably didn't do much research as to here's the price we should be paying on it. Let's see if we can drive that down a little bit.
Well, absolutely. And not only that, in general, healthcare costs have gone up. Obamacare did not do what it was supposed to.
It didn't go all the way through, too. It's not like
there's no mandate. You mean
it's not fully functioning the way that Obama wanted it to be
because they got rid of the mandate
and they stopped it. Yeah, and they stopped. Yeah, they've been stopped and slowed down, defunded and whatever. It's not the way. And I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with it, but I do know the wheels that were set in motion by Obama did not come to fruition the way that it was intended to, because when Trump was in office and the Congress, they voted things out and defunded it and changed it and they've altered it from his original thing. So you can't even say that it was his philosophies that have come to fruition.
It wasn't necessarily the Obamacare program, but
yeah. And I don't know what was better or worse, but it's definitely not that original program that they were intending on doing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It made me mad because it's like I'm going to a hospital. That hospital is a non-profit. And so everything in my mind, everything encompassing that like business structure should be not for profit. I talked to the hospital billing lady and I said, so how is this all set up? Like if I'm signing for a product from a third party company, but your employee came in and had me sign it, can employees for other companies engage in contracts for other countries?
Are they
like
representative
if they're not
for them in some way?
like, and she like didn't really know the answer to that, but she's like, well, you're purchasing it from them, so we don't have anything to do with it. I'm like, well, you supplied it to me. You said you need this. Here you go. Sign for it. Like, and you're a non-profit. And I'm like, so how much of that money do you actually get? And she's like, well, I can't say if we get like a kickback, and I don't know if that's like 0% or 50% or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so you obviously get, it's instead of purchasing through you like it should be, you've set it up to be this like roundabout way to like avoid liability, like, or
it's the other company. Deal with them.
yeah, it's the other company. Even though what you're really doing is saying we're selling this to you, but you're going to pay them and they're going to pay us, which is like a weird thing for a hospital to do, I think.
Yeah, it's insurance. My opinion on it is it's all a scam, and you can go all the way back to when originally insurance was decided upon. One of the big points was ships coming over from Europe to America. They would, let's say you're a really rich guy and you insure 10 ships and say, I will insure whatever's on your boat. All within these 10, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. I have no idea. Let's say among these 10 ships back in the day, the guy made $25,000 off insuring all these ships because they have to pay him, right?
Yeah.
And then he has to make a claim on one of those ships and he's out, $8,000. Okay, he pays out $8,000 and he got all this money. All the other ships made it just fine.
Yeah.
It's a gamble, but at the same time, like, that's why insurance fraud is a weird thing. Like, what if one of the ships is like, oh, we claimed this was on, we can pull the gold off, cash that in, sink the ship, and then we get money from this guy too, right?
Yeah.
But then you go into more modern days and you got the mob boss that comes up and knocks on your door. Hey, I think you should get fire insurance for this building. It's like, what's fire insurance? Well, if, we'll make sure your place doesn't burn down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not a concern of mine. This is like mob. And then anyone that didn't buy insurance, they'd go burn their freaking building down.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you should have bought insurance for us. Or protection. We'll protect you from any crime that's going on in this place.
Right.
And if they don't pay, then they just send their guys that works for them to go and rob the place. Like, you going to buy now? It's all a scheme. And if you don't think it is, and you don't think it's set up to just make a shit ton of money, go look at what are the biggest companies in the United States right now? Almost all of them are insurance companies.
Yeah.
And they have their hands in everything. Like you buy a mouse from Walmart, and it's like, do you want to get allergen insurance for $4?
Yeah. Which is
insurance companies making $4 off my purchase of another completely unrelated product.
$4 to insure something that costs $1 to make.
Something that probably 99.9% of the time they're going to get out of. Like, they're not going to cover it because it didn't fit like a specific criteria.
And then when they do cover it, they're like, okay, the mouse was $20, but what's the word they use? Age and degeneration of the product. Now it's worth $7. So we'll pay you $7. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, did it fall from a concrete surface onto a granite surface? Yeah. If not, then it's not covered. Yeah. Like, they've got stringent, it's not just 100%.
Oh, your son knocked it off your desk?
Oh, yeah. How old is he?
Yeah, he's underage. We don't cover minors.
Yeah.
Was he standing by a ficus plant? Sorry.
Same thing with like warranties. Like you probably know, like the not engineered flooring. What's that called? Laminate flooring.
Yeah,
will be like lifetime waterproof guarantee. But what it really is like if water is spilled on it and sits there for longer than 2 minutes, it voids the warranty.
Right.
Like.
Or home warranties. I advise do never get a home warranty. If you have an older house, of course. I had one and I specifically got it because I had a super old furnace. I'm like, dude, this thing's going to go out in like 2 years. I want this home warranty to cover it.
Yeah.
So it goes out and they wanted to charge me like $15,000 on the furnace was covered.
Yeah.
But they wanted to charge me $15,000 to upgrade all the electrical and the ducting and everything to get up to modern day code.
Right.
And I'm like, what? Or I could just go over here for like $4,000 and buy a new furnace.
Yeah.
And hook it up with the old system that's obviously working. Just the furnace is bad.
Yeah.
It's just all criminal.
And you paid all of that insurance.
Right. And I paid all the insurance.
Yeah.
And and this is my favorite part. They're like, well, we can just cash this out. I'm like, how much can you cash out? Because it's going to cost me like $2,000 or $3,000 to get a new furnace. And install it. Like $780.
Yeah, for the price
like-
that you could sell it for parts.
I'm
Yeah.
like, who's going to install this furnace for $780? Can you please send me their number? Well, we get proprietary pricing with this and blah, 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 blah. Basically, when you need insurance, there's always a reason to not pay you out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dental insurance is, I don't know if you've ever looked at dental insurance pricing, but it's a racket. There isn't a single, and this is Phil's philosophy,
Philosophy.
but I don't think there's a single dental insurance plan that makes sense for anybody. Like, obviously people get it through their employers and stuff, but it's almost always like a couple $100 a month to insure your family, and then it only ever covers 50% of like larger dental issues that I've ever seen.
But
and maybe I'm wrong.
You know why it's a racket is because the insurance company will deny costs if they're less than what they deem is necessary to pay for that. So
Right.
if you don't charge $1,300 for a back brace, your insurance claim will get denied.
Yeah.
Like if the hospital submitted a $450 claim to give you that back brace, they would say, no, that back brace is $1,300, and they will deny the claim to the hospital.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with dental stuff. So I have a dentist and I actually pay for insurance through him directly. So I pay him like $108 a month. It covers all our cleanings twice a year. And that alone pays for it.
Yeah.
Like the insurance, because cleanings are fairly expensive, but then it gives me like 20% off any work that needs to be done.
Right.
And it's not insurance related. So if I get a cavity filled and it's $160, he just takes 20% off that and I pay him.
It's like
Yeah.
a subscription service to your dentist.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
and it's way cheap because that's all my kids.
Yeah.
$108 a month, which is not cheap, but at the
Right.
same time,
Yeah, if you all get cleanings
twice a
every,
year for
6 months,
$250 or whatever it is. Yeah.
But the way I look at it, we pay for dental out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go in for a cleaning and x-rays, it's like $80. And insurance is twice that every month. Or I send one of my kids in, it's $80. I had to get a root canal just right before I broke my back.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And that was expensive. It was like $3,000.
Tell us
Yeah.
more about it.
But that's 1 year of paying insurance. And
Yeah.
since I haven't paid it in the last 10 years, I've by far saved thousands of dollars doing it that way.
Yeah,
So,
I think people forget about what they've paid to their insurance company versus what they actually get back.
right.
And like homeowners insurance, you'll pay, over the life of your home, you'll paid tens of thousands of dollars maybe. And what have you gotten back from the insurance?
Right.
And don't file an insurance claim
Peace of mind.
because then you have to pay more per month.
Yeah.
It's a huge pain in
yeah.
the butt.
Yeah. People just write it off as peace of mind and paying for, I'm insured.
Yeah.
So, but then, it's
It's a racket.
Well, that was our
this is
episode.
the insurance.
Complain of Viscus.
No, but I really wish I'd recorded it because it was fascinating. Like I almost think it could have been like major news, just the conversations I had with each
Reach
of
out
these
to
people.
Gephardt.
Yeah, I should have done something like that.
Get
because
Gephardt.
the way they answered questions was like the company I bought it from sounded super guilty. Everyone else I talked to was like, this doesn't seem right.
Mhm.
It was like a real person I was talking to, and they were like, yeah. And I even mentioned to one of them, I'm like, you should be concerned about this too, because your tax dollars are paying 4 or 5 times more for this device than it actually costs. Like, yeah, I guess that is a concern of everybody's.
Well, it sounds like it's structured so that it's easy for them to deflect. The hospital's like, oh, it's the private company. The private company's like, oh, the pricing's based on Medicare.
Right.
Medicare say, oh, well, we pay the price that whatever they said that, their justification for the price. It's usually not our fault, right? It's somebody else setting that.
Well, it really is. It's the company. It's the company who sells the brace. It's Medicaid, which means it's also the federal government. It's also the state government, which manages and handles Medicaid on the state level. It's and the state health department. Like I've talked to all those people, and every one of them deflected off to somebody else, pretty much. Like
It's the same thing with prescriptions. My daughter broke her arm and they gave her Advil. How much does a bottle of Advil cost, Phil? I know you know.
$400.
No, just from Walmart.
over the counter.
It depends on how many, but like the ones I buy, the bottle of
big
500 at
Yeah, how much?
Costco, I probably like $15, $20.
So for one dose for a 90-pound child, it was $47
Yeah, at the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the emergency room.
Advil.
Yeah.
Right.
Ibuprofen,
Yeah.
100%. It wasn't even like ibuprofen 9,000. It was like literally I could have gone home and just given her one and it would have been the same.
The nurse went over around the corner and opened an Equate bottle,
Yeah,
500 milligrams, and
Yeah.
gave you one of their
Yeah.
pills. Yeah,
good.
and it
great,
cost them
great value.
It cost them $2.99.
Yeah, no, it's
And,
42 cents. Like,
No, the whole bottle.
yeah, that's right.
and again, this hospital is a non-profit
Uh-huh.
company, meaning they're supposed to be geared up to benefit the community or the users or whatever,
Right.
like without making a ton of profit.
Yeah.
So,
Go look at their facilities and tell me they're non-profit. They just buy land and build more buildings.
yeah.
You got a lot of donors.
Oh,
That's
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
not to say that a hospital doesn't need a lot of money, but we'd all feel better if you just charged for your service and your space and the items. You know, my family's involved in a bunch of lawsuits over a farm, and the lawyer.
Oh, your family? Never heard about that.
Oh yeah, and the attorney sent them a letter saying, you know, kind of updating on what they owed for all these bills, and they said, we're obviously charging you expenses, so like filing fees, things like that, but we don't charge any markup on those things. They just made it very clear that we make money with our service.
Mm-hmm.
We're not making money with markups. And why can't a hospital just do that? We
Right.
charge you for doctor's fees. We charge you for hospital bed space, you know, but we're not also making money off of the food you eat, the medicine we give you, the back brace we
Right.
supply. Like, seems logical to me. I don't know.
Maybe that's why they're changing their name from Intermountain Healthcare to just Intermountain Health.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care anymore.
They're getting rid of the care.
Yeah.
Intermountain Health Fund. That's what it should be
Yeah.
called.
Intermountain Health Finance Company.
Yeah. But no, other than this, I have enjoyed IHC as a healthcare system.
They do a great job. They
Yeah.
got some really good doctors.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think so.
Huge building in Provo.
So
It's massive.
I think just some things like this need to be curtailed. And the lady even told me, she said, "Oh, we've been using the same suppliers for decades." And I said, "For decades, your purchaser hasn't looked over like their options?"
There's not much oversight. It
Yeah.
sounds like
There's not.
there's no. Is there auditing going on?
Exactly.
Maybe not.
So anyway,
So you're doing good.
So,
That's what
so,
you're
good.
saying.
so you're doing good, Phil.
other than that
Your back's-
rant about my back brace.
Yeah.
That episode about
Yeah.
back braces.
Which again, I told him, I'm like, I'll pay the $250. I don't care. What I'm worried about is, what about the uninsured guy that came right after me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's paying $1,600, you know, and he doesn't need to. At the very least, they need to say, we can give you this one right now, or you can suffer for 48 hours while Amazon ships you one for way less.
And
Right.
when you're getting out of the hospital, you broke your back. You're not like at in a position to debate whether you should use that back brace, whether
Exactly.
you need it,
How much
can
it
I
costs.
get how much it costs, because you
Mhm.
never know the price
Right.
of anything unless you like. I know that an emergency room visit's $500 because that's happened in the past. And that's
Right.
the base price plus the care, plus the medicine they give you, plus the CAT scan and everything else.
Right.
But you're not at all in a position to say, you know, let's talk about, I don't want this back brace, or I want to get one from this company. You don't know. You haven't done that research beforehand.
Exactly. And what's wrong with, you talked about medicine. Why not have a freaking vending machine in the middle of the
With
ER
back braces.
with back
Over-the-counter
or,
stuff?
or just like ibuprofen packets or something? Like, there you go. Or we can give you one for $47.
Yeah.
Or you can walk over there and pay 30 cents, swipe your card,
And get a single.
and get some
It's
ibuprofen.
it's like a bubble gum machine. You just
Right.
turn it.
Yeah, especially
handful.
for non-prescription
Right.
items.
Yeah.
Like,
Ibuprofen.
that's crazy.
and- yeah.
so anyway, I could rant all day about the state of our
You
healthcare
don't
system.
say.
Yeah.
You don't say.
You already did.
You could.
Oh, I did say. Anyway,
Should we start an episode
let's
now?
Let's start with our news.
That's
And
funny.
local in Utah, Intermountain Healthcare complained to by a local citizen,
that's right.
Phil. So American Fork had everybody knows in the world, I think, that American Fork cross country is like the best.
Yeah, the whole world knows.
Timo Mostert is like the best cross country coach ever.
Is he?
It's kind of
There was a national competition. A student from American Fork won first place, and Gatorade has named him the National Boys Cross Country. So he got National Boys Cross Country Player of the Year, and Gatorade named him as their Player of the Year. I guess they have a sports athlete every year that they name the Player of the Year. And
did they do
was the one?
Did they do one per sport or just in general all sports?
I didn't find that, but I would imagine it's one single player.
Wow, that's kind of crazy, actually. So he beat out all those Southern football teams, high school players, and all those surfers on the high school teams in Hawaii.
Well, let's see. Gatorade Player of the Year, according to their website, it does say in each of the 50 states and DC, one Gatorade State High School Player of the Year is chosen in each of the following sports. So yes.
Oh, okay. So it's each state and each sport.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way
okay,
less
so
cool
he's
than
nothing.
I thought
Never
it was.
mind. Let's move on.
Move on. That was a dumb story.
Anyway, his name is stupid. No one. I deserve that.
No one cares. Yeah, I am the dad of the year based off of my neighborhood.
So Daniel Simmons from American Fork got a trophy.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, good
with
job.
a Gatorade G on it, saying that he's not special.
Did he get any product? They should send him a care package of some kind.
Like
know what I mean?
Some
Like-
Gatorade.
Like a
Yeah,
6-pack of Gatorade.
Or like those Gatorade pods that are all the rage right now.
Kids are
Yeah, the
sniffing
little-
up their nose.
Just taking them up the butt. What?
So that's neat.
That's cool.
Cool.
Thanks for
So he at least is, according to Gatorade, the best athlete
in that sport
in Utah
in that state.
cross country
in high school. Okay,
in high school.
that's great.
In American Fork, in his street
At
where he
his
lives.
house.
In the bedroom he sleeps in, he's the best athlete cross country.
Here's an award.
Moving on to Utah news, we actually have several things. The first one is the Unified Police Department, which is the police department that is used in a lot of the municipal towns around Salt Lake. That may be dismantled soon, or at least not used anymore by the departments or the towns in Utah.
And it was like a Salt Lake interagency thing, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Magna, Utah does not have their own police department, so they contract with UPD,
Yeah.
Unified Police Department. Copperton is a little city that gets patrolled there. Mill Creek. There's a few others. I don't know. They have different spaces that they operate in, but yeah, apparently there's some conflict of interest between I don't know, but they're looking at dissolving them basically.
Yeah, something like the CEO of Unified Police Department is a
county
mayor or something like that.
It's like the county sheriff. Yeah, she's a Latino lady, I think. I think I voted for her.
Bertram. Anyway, yeah, so they basically would be forced to use their own to create a police force. And I know where you live, Jeff. You guys, Unified Police Department is your department.
No, we have West Valley City Police
Oh, you
Department.
do?
Yeah, it's huge actually. But Magna, which is very close to West Valley, has UPD, and yeah, they're all over the place in Salt Lake. UPD, you always know because their cops are a little bit more. They'll have more tattoos. I've seen them like with colored hair, and they're not like typical cops you'll always
The
see.
Unified Police.
UPD
They're a lot
guys.
more rough around the edges.
Well, they're pretty cool people though. I mean, I like most cops, but I've just noticed, and maybe I'm
You're
the only one that's
racist.
noticed this. Yeah,
You're racist
of tattoo coloring.
because you like cops.
But I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's easier to become a cop at UPD and like they're
Are the qualifications lower,
I
or
have
are
no
they
idea.
just like Google, where
Interesting.
they don't care about college degrees anymore? They're just like, are you qualified?
Yeah. Did
Do you
you
have the experience?
get
Great.
through the academy?
Yeah.
Right. Like I said,
And do you have tattoos? Sweet.
there's another police force that people don't talk about, and that's schools have their own police forces too. Granite School District has a decent sized police force.
Universities do.
Universities. I don't know if like Alpine School District does in Utah County. Do they have Alpine cops?
I know that they're, what do they call them? Their resource officers are,
But they're not
from the local police department.
Are they armed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are.
I mean, they're in full uniform.
Yeah, but
when
I think those are
on
just
campus.
contracted by their local police contracted through or to their local police department.
yeah, I think like
So like American Fork High School might have a resource officer, but he's just an employee of American Fork Police Department.
Right. Huh.
So universities tend to have their own police departments,
yeah,
but they're all certified through the state. So it's like
campus
every police officer in the state holds the same authority that every other one does. They just
Yeah.
have jurisdictions. They can operate outside those jurisdictions, but when it goes to court, they'll have to prove a good reason to
Right.
do so.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a new House bill in Utah. Bill HB 374 is a bill that would repeal a section of Utah law that allowed for the creation of the Unified Police Department.
Wow.
So neat.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they dissolve that. They better have another good solution in place through the sheriff's department or each municipality or whatever, because like Magna, they can't be going without cops. I promise you. It's a rough place.
Mhm.
It sure is. West
Yeah,
Valley.
they definitely would need a phase out where, okay, now once this is discontinued, we have to have a police department.
Exactly.
They're not going to be without cops.
That wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't be good, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah. Exactly. More fun to the police department.
Yeah, I read something the other day that was saying that West Valley was the worst place in America. Oh, the least is the least.
Listen, he really messed this up because it's totally not.
Oh,
that.
the least good place.
It's
Okay.
called the least glamorous big city in America,
Which is why I
is-
love it so much.
is West Valley City.
It's not the least, but it's on the list.
It's the last place on the list that they made, meaning it's the least glamorous.
But okay, glamorous. So there's no Louis Vuitton there. There's no Chanel. Like, what's glamorous?
West Valley is dead last on a list of 200 U.S. cities.
Okay, go on.
That's it. They're just not
No, you
glamorous.
can't just do what's the criteria.
I don't know. Something dumb like
No, they
how many. I think it was more like like clubs
Yep.
and like concert halls
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. Like
which is hilarious because if the biggest names ever in Utah, name one artist like Elton John comes to town, where's he going to play?
West Valley City.
West Valley City.
oh really?
Yeah, at the USANA Amphitheater.
Oh yeah, at the grassy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unless he comes in the winter, then he's going to the Delta Center.
Weezer.
Yeah,
We
that
went
is.
to the Weezer concert.
It is
If you're
glamorous.
Snoop Dogg, where are you going? That's right, USANA.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was
Or the
dumb
Delta
criteria.
Center.
It was dumb criteria.
Oh.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
We are a lot more ethnic. I will tell you that.
Oh.
I will seriously. I'm not joking. The best like Filipino food, Mexican food, Chinese food, whatever like ethnic food you want, go to West
Valley.
They've got the best
Yeah.
because they have those mom and pop shops where it's like these guys actually came from
The guy that started
Chile
it works there
or-
every day,
Yeah.
12 hours a day.
You want some good pupusas? You go there. You go to get like, yeah, it's really good food.
Okay. I like West Valley now.
Yeah. And they also have an Olive Garden.
Oh yeah.
So it's maybe no longer on the last of the list. It
Yeah.
might be
Maybe
one
they're
up.
getting up there. That was from 3 weeks ago.
I can
but-
go on about West Valley like you can go on about insurance. Like,
Yeah.
did you know Ted Bundy was arrested in West Valley?
Oh, I thought.
Thank you.
I thought he was arrested near University of Utah
West
campus.
No.
Oh,
He was committing crimes there.
That's where he
That's where he
That's
tried.
He
where he
actually got arrested
left a girl for dead.
near
Yeah.
the Valley Fair Mall in West Valley.
Oh,
But it's not glamorous. Like Valley Fair Mall has a nickname called the Welfare Mall.
Ted Bundy estate.
It's glamorous, guys.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
Anyway,
The Valley Fair does have a what's that new theater?
Cinemark?
No, not Cinemark, but the other.
Hale Center.
No, it's Larry H. Miller Theater, right?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either.
I've only been to
And
one movie
they
there. It's
rebranded,
really,
and it seems more upscale. They just put a Costco over there, so
yeah. My only complaint is it's just not very glamorous.
yeah.
it's probably like really low on the list of
like
glamorousness.
200th place.
Yeah, out of 200
Okay,
cities.
quit pooping on my cities.
Other, I guess this is considered Utah. Well, it is Utah news. There's a Louisiana-based rapper named NBA Youngblood,
Uh-huh.
or Youngblood for short. Youngboy. Yeah, there is also an artist named Youngblood. Youngboy, who is on house arrest, and the judge allowed him to move to Salt Lake
Uh-huh.
because they felt like that would be a good place for him to
Commit crimes.
not to stay out of trouble.
To get
He's had
into a
some-
gang in West Valley.
If he
He's
goes
had-
to West Valley, they're like, oh, it's not glamorous there. He can live there.
Yeah, yes, West Valley. He has a sketchy past and some very, very explicit music, but he has recently decided to convert to the LDS Church.
Oh.
The missionaries knocked on his door and he turned them down the first time, and then next time they came around, he said, I just needed a friend, and it hit me. So they started teaching him, and he decided he's going to be baptized in the church.
And he's turned his life around, huh?
He said he feels bad for all of the bad lyrics that he's had in his music, and he's going to change his life.
Wow.
Christian rap group.
He's
you go.
going
Can see
to
it
become
coming.
a conversion.
By the way, you need to take better notes on the for the podcast because it says young boy to join LDS Church. I'm like, yeah, no kidding.
oh yeah,
Like, that's not news. A young
local
girl
news.
also did.
An 8-year-old boy is.
I don't know why
join
you're
the
being
LDS.
sexist.
Yeah, this is a rapper named Young Boy.
That makes better sense.
And he's let's see he's actually the third most streamed artist in the country,
What?
behind Drake and Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah, so
What?
he's huge, but you never hear him on the radio. But people like his music, like on YouTube and stuff, is huge. Apparently,
I'm going to jam out to some
Wow.
young boy on the way out.
careful, don't play it too loud around your kids.
Yeah, I'd never heard it.
Unless you're in the rap world, you probably never heard of him.
It
Yeah.
sounds like the plot to what was that movie when we were growing up? The Buttercream Gang.
Oh yeah,
Was it?
How is it? How is it?
Oh, I don't remember the plot,
Oh,
but it seems like wasn't there like some rough kid and he came around? Was that a Mormon movie or was it?
it was
not?
filmed in Utah.
Oh, but it wasn't
think-
about Mormons.
I don't know.
I don't think it's no.
Oh.
I don't.
Is that the movie where they're like, oh, 10 cow wife?
No,
No, okay.
You're thinking of
Other Side of Heaven?
Okay.
Or
no
Johnny Lingo.
Johnny Lingo. That was like a BYU movie or
Yeah,
something.
I know. Okay.
Buttercream Gang. I'm thinking Stand By Me, which was a really good movie.
Yeah,
It is
that
about
was a
the
good
same
one.
time.
Anyway,
Okay, so bad rapper, house arrest, moved to Utah, thinking about joining the church.
Apparently, good rapper, bad music, bad lyrics.
Okay, well, I'm
Yeah.
still listening to him.
and when
on the way
Jake says
home.
bad, he means from the viewpoint of a Mormon.
Of a person who doesn't like to be inundated with
Rape
a
your mama.
lot of crime and things.
etc. Okay, cool. So
Explicit.
someone might join the church. That's great.
Mhm.
What's next?
So someone's joining the church. So the NBA All-Star Game is coming to
Is here.
Utah.
Yeah, the weekend that we're recording.
What's that
Mhm.
mean?
So All-Star Game is like all the best players. I think this is coming from someone who doesn't really know, but all the best players from different teams get put on teams and then
On
they
two
play
different
each other.
teams
Yeah.
and they play.
So
Okay.
Like the Pro Bowl of the NFL.
Yeah, like Stockton and Malone
Uh-huh.
played because they were like
I
one of the best
remember,
in the league,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think last time we're hosting it here in Utah, and the
Mhm.
last time that happened was 30 years ago in '93,
Oh wow.
and so
It'll
it's
be
kind of
at-
a big deal.
At the Delta Center.
But I looked into it more. I'm like, why is this a big deal? Like, I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but why is it like so impactful to the city and stuff? And it's because it's a whole weekend of events. Like they had a celebrity game, which I didn't really know many of the celebrities that were there. but they have like, anyway, they have like practices that you can buy tickets to go watch because all these big NBA stars are playing on the same team now. And it's just kind of interesting because you don't see someone from the Lakers playing someone with the Heat, and they're on the same team now, and working out. Anyway, like I said, I don't know how it all works, but apparently it's a big deal, and it's like a 3 or 4 day event. And like Salt Lake International Airport was saying, they are gearing up for the busiest weekend because of this, and like the amount of celebrities that are coming into town to watch, and
the ski resorts are going to be packed.
Yeah, I'm sure. And there's actually some ski events. There's a big snowboard event going on this weekend too, to probably break up the NBA stuff. People going up there, coming down. Anyway,
Park City's going to be
deal,
loaded
apparently.
Yeah,
which I think is cool. I think it's neat.
I was just, because you mentioned the last time they were here. So the people on those teams on the Eastern Conference: Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Larry Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. For the Western Conference: John Stockton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, David Robinson, Sean Elliott.
Was it Gnarls Barkley also on there?
Yeah, Gnarls was there
That's
too.
so cool.
That's some big names all in one game.
That wasn't 10 years ago, though.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, in 93, you said.
That was the last time you said.
Last time they were here.
Last time they were in Utah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think they do it every year.
For some reason, I was thinking it was in Utah 10 years ago.
Yeah. No. No.
And it was the Delta Center then.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be changed back to the Delta Center here soon.
Thank God.
Oh, it's like life starting over again.
Yeah.
We're back to war with Russia, just like we were before.
Rebirth.
Our kids are now liking the music that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
Do your kids call you a boomer?
I got no, they don't.
That's apparently what.
But that's so weird because my kids
call me a boomer.
My kids call you a boomer.
Weird.
That's so weird.
So weird.
A boomer?
No, but I heard the best one. I had a client who was younger than me by a few years say, "Oh, we're geriatric millennials."
Top news right now.
Geriatric?
Camilla Harris says
Millennials.
Russia has
'Cause we're the
committed
Because we're like the
crimes
older
against
end of
women.
millennials.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I actually identify with that because when people call me a millennial, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I know, no. So we're geriatric millennials.
I like that more than boomer.
Yeah, boomer is more like a baby boomer.
Well, yeah, I keep
they're all
every
dying.
time I'm like, the boomer is literally a generation of people born like, the 50s and sooner.
Yeah, it's our grandparents.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our
Or
baby
before
boomers.
the 50s.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But they don't care. That's
No,
I'm
it's a
boomer
new
to
term.
them.
It's a new term.
that's funny.
It's like bussin'.
It's
Yeah,
like
Savage,
you're
not-
old.
you're old,
Sus.
Jake.
I'm sus.
That's so embarrassing. I say that all the time because my kids get embarrassed. Like, oh, that was so last year, Dad.
Sus.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard of it. I'm behind.
Sus is short for like suspicious.
Oh.
And came from a game called Among Us.
Oh,
Yeah, so-and-so's being sus.
Among Us is those little alien things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure.
I've seen
I think
it.
they're in like
Are you talking about the
chemical
balloons?
suits.
Those little alien things
The
that we
Chinese
keep
balloon-
shooting down?
What's up with the Chinese balloons?
So apparently the sky is falling.
yeah.
Chicken. Speaking of chickens.
we've got this balloon that was flying over the United States, and we were watching it. It was coasting from Alaska all the way down central,
I thought it was a Fortnite
eastern
balloon.
United States.
Is that cool
I
reference?
thought that was
Yeah, that's
so
good. That's last year. Though.
dumb. It was a balloon. They're like, oh my gosh, a balloon. I'm like, yeah, you can see right on it. It's got like a solar panel and a radio.
and made
Who
in
ca-
China.
Who cares?
Yeah,
What's it going to do? Emit radiation
and
in a 10-foot radius?
I was a little sus about it because from the beginning we're like, it's a Chinese balloon.
Right.
It's China. And I'm like, how do we know it's from China? Apparently, we watched it take off from China.
No, it had
Watched it.
Chinese writing
We
on
knew that it came across the Atlantic, and then we knew before it even entered U.S. airspace. And then when it, came over Alaska, everyone's freaking out about it. Why don't we shoot it down? And then we finally did when it reached North Carolina.
Well, let's talk about this. They were thinking about shooting it down over Montana, but the concern was the damage and potential it would create
Yeah.
in
It'll hurt somebody.
Montana.
Right.
Why don't you call the 3 people that live there and be like, "Hey guys, stay inside for an hour
Go
or
in
two
your basement.
for an hour."
Or better yet, Go outside and look up. If there's a
watch
balloon falling at you, then run away.
Step out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I thought there was literally Chinese writing on these balloons, but it wasn't.
Apparently the balloon was like 200 feet long.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
It's a big
Huge balloon, and it was way, way up there. But I mean, the whole world's attention was in the skies, and then we've got all of these other UFOs flying around. We shot down like 4 of them in different parts of the country.
Yeah, and Canada, NORAD,
and
Shot
yeah, we
down.
worked with Canada through NORAD to
NORAD is North American,
right,
so it includes Canada.
Air defense, air defense.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Air Force over the United States shot those ones down, and I mean, we spent $400,000 missiles to shoot these unmanned aircraft. We don't know anything about them yet, but
Yeah.
I think it was all just a distraction of what else is going on in the world.
That's what I do with my kids. I'm like, let's just buy some balloons and put them up in the house, and then while they're like looking at
Playing
the
with the balloons,
me and my wife can make out.
Yeah.
Or whatever we need to distract
Right.
them from. We'll wrap Christmas presents
can
while they're
go-
looking up there.
We can go eat ice cream.
Exactly.
No,
In the middle of the day.
seemed dumb to me because the Chinese government was like, it's just a weather balloon. They can obviously see it doesn't have any propulsion or anything. So they can obviously figure they had no control over where this thing went once it took off. You think they did?
Yeah, because
Why?
Okay, the Earth has jet streams.
Okay, so like
This is how balloons have navigated since they were like in all you have to control is going up or down.
right.
You can control that very simply by releasing some gas or closing it.
But I don't even think it had that capability, did it?
Of course it did.
I don't think we
All
know
balloons
anything
do.
about
It-
the
it
equipment
looked
that
to
it had
me-
on board.
It looked like just a balloon with a radio on the bottom.
So
of
you're
it.
saying that a car lot in China was having a sale and it just got cut off by accident and just floated over to the United States. You don't put radio equipment and everything on something you can't control.
I'm saying they probably sent it. Well, I'm not saying probably. I don't know. It could
You
very
100% know.
could very well be nefarious. But from what it appears, they just sent up a weather balloon and it floated over the United States. They probably intended it to float somewhere else.
Are you saying you agree with China?
No?
Are you a China sympathizer?
China did say it was a weather balloon that went off track.
and they have said, and now again, this is China saying this, but they're like, this,
trust it.
This was a massive overreaction by the U.S. government. It's just a weather balloon. The U.S. has them float over us all the time. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But once they shot it down and looked at it, they were like, yeah, it doesn't appear to be anything nefarious. It's not a spy balloon. It's just like a weather thing that belongs to this weather company.
That's what they'd tell you.
Well, no, that's what our government has said. once
Oh,
they
and you
found it.
trust our government. No,
Well,
I get it.
Okay. Well, no, because
You know how much they charge for back braces?
Yeah, exactly. But no, our government was trying to say, oh, this looks so bad. This looks so bad. China says it's not bad. We shoot it down. We're like, it's not bad. So then the story should be, we shouldn't have shot this thing down.
Instead, they're like, oh, there are these other UFOs flying over the United States. Let's shoot those down.
And that's what those are. They're UFOs still. They don't know what they are.
I haven't heard anything about the last I've heard about any of them is they're still trying to locate the wreckage of the whatever they shot down after it
So
fell.
they shot it and it just disappeared out of this dimension.
The
But here's
thing
the
is-
thing. I think Jake's getting to the point of like, here's these balloons in the air. Who's eating ice cream on the ground while everyone's looking at the balloons, right?
Yeah.
What's the ice cream?
Well, because I mean, at any given time, there are thousands of weather balloons flying around above our skies. Why is it a big deal now?
Right.
I think it's because there's stuff that the government wants us to not look at.
like
Hold on. I got to make a hat real quick out of this tinfoil.
Tinfoil hat.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
Like Congress having a bunch of hearings into Joe Biden's business dealings, maybe something like that.
There's the Joe Biden stuff. There's the Russia threatening Norway with
Wait, what?
Russia has sent some of their nuclear capable warcraft ships off the coast of Norway, and that haven't been used since the Cold War, and they're just parked out there. We've got
Wait, so, what?
Yeah, Russia
I haven't
has,
heard about that
Russia
at all.
has armed nuclear warheads on ships and sent them out to sea in the first time in 30 years.
What has Norway done to anybody?
They're part of the Russian attack strategy.
All-star game.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
30
sense to
years.
me.
30-year anniversary of Utah
Aren't they?
hosting the All-Star game.
Is Norway bordering?
I think that's Sweden.
I know-
Norway's on the
well, I know
coast side.
Norway is a member of, what is it? This whole group of nations
They're
Come-
homies.
that you don't mess with. Otherwise, all the other members groups.
Yeah.
What is it?
You
Is
mess
it
with
NATO?
one, you mess with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Norway's a
Nor-
member.
Oh, yeah,
Norway's on
Norway's-
the coast.
Norway's way out
Sweden.
there. Finland is where they would invade first, right? And maybe Sweden, because Sweden kind of borders. Yeah, Sweden does border Russia in a
So-
little tiny bit, and Norway does apparently.
Oh yeah, it does.
So
Up
Norway
top there.
does border Russia.
So it's they're probably up there at the top.
Was Norway, Sweden, and Finland all part of Russia at one point, or the USSR?
Maybe. So, and I just want to clarify because I said this wrong. Norway borders Russia and Finland border Russia, but Sweden does not.
Yeah.
So yeah, they, in theory, Norway, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Belarus, and Ukraine, and Georgia, and Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. I've never even heard of that one.
Azerbaijan.
They all border Russia. Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan.
James Stan.
They could all be in the Russian onslaught of expansion, which I don't know. Russia's been doing poorly, they say, but I guess has still been gaining ground.
Yeah, actually, what is today's date? The 19th, 18th? The 24th, about when this episode will be released. Will
Oh
be
yeah.
the 1 year anniversary of the
That's right.
Ukraine war.
Oh, yeah. It's a good thing that we canceled Russia right at the beginning so that it just put a stop to that war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Thing.
It's
Yeah.
like no
And-
more McDonald's.
Yeah, it phased out like the seriousness of the war.
We're not buying your plywood anymore.
We're not sending billions of dollars to the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? Sorry, this is. I focus in on this. Did you see what they've done to all their McDonald's that were over there? So, Russia has the government over there. Whoever, I don't know what you call it. They have basically
Putin.
bought them all or taken control of them, but they still have a lot of McDonald's stock on
Yeah.
like their sauces and stuff. And literally all of them have like the logos scratched out and like new labels put on them. I'm like, man, they went above and beyond.
Kind
to,
of like the whole.
He got one person screwed with a needle,
Just like
scratching off
taking
the
a
McDonald's
magic
on every
marker.
McDonald, every ketchup packet.
Yeah, exactly. And they like put a new label on it. I'm like, man, these guys are. It's really interesting, but yeah, they're just carrying on without it.
Kind of like the whole freedom fries thing.
Oh
Which-
yeah,
which
Liberty Cabbage.
Which I'm just realizing as I say that we don't call them French fries anymore, ever, right? Like you
They're
never
just
see,
fries.
you never see French fries like at a restaurant or when you buy them at the store. It's just like fries.
I
sure.
never noticed.
We canceled France because they didn't support us invading Iraq.
I
Do you
call them
remember
French
that?
fries all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And by restaurant, you mean like what?
Well, yeah. If you go to
McDonald's?
McDonald's or Wendy's or anyone, do
Oh,
they say French fries anymore?
I don't know.
Let's look at the McDonald's app.
Yeah, order some real
Yeah.
quick. DoorDash them over.
Did you know McDonald's has a secret menu?
Do they?
You can buy a basket of fries, larger than a large.
I
like a
want to
big
just see what the
basket.
basket is.
They also, if you go between breakfast and lunch, apparently they have a brunch burger, which has hash browns in it. It's like a Big Mac that they throw hash browns in there, and I think their egg patty.
I still don't like McDonald's.
So
Mm.
I'm just searching I typed French friends, French fries.
Ross Geller speaks French.
Phil, you're the best at Googling.
I know. Well, I'm not.
Fresh fries.
Googling. Anyway, how did we get onto this subject?
Oh,
Something
sorry.
about
Russian McDonald's.
Yeah,
a
changed.
balloon. The balloons
Oh yeah.
are causing war. Hand cut fries is what Super Chicks
No, the
calls
balloons are
them.
distracting us from war.
I don't think anyone calls them French fries anymore
Okay.
because they
But they
can't
still call it
France.
sauerkraut, right?
Yeah,
So we didn't
Not-
stick to Liberty Cabbage.
until
German
until we
kraut, Liberty
figure out.
cabbage.
That was. I'm serious. That's what it was called.
Really?
Liberty Cabbage. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure that was sauerkraut.
Liberty cabbage.
You've never heard when we canceled French fries in World War II. We also
the invasion.
Hold
of
on, I'm
Iraq.
going to Google it. Liberty. Oh, Millert? How did that happen?
Freedom fries is what we wanted to call them. The French fries, right? Freedom fries.
Yeah, Liberty cabbage. Look, so sauerkraut was renamed Liberty cabbage in 1917. But that didn't stick because no one eats sauerkraut anyway. Unless you're at Wiener Schnitzel. Then you eat it.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Liberty cabbage.
Yep.
Anyway, a balloon flew over the U.S., did nothing. We shot it down. We probably spent like $1.2 million shooting it down.
Yeah.
Oh, they do call them French fries
It's
at
McDonald's app.
I
Calls them French fries.
take back everything I just said.
There's no freedom in them fries.
Nope.
Nope.
They uncanceled France.
Congratulations,
Yeah, they're
France.
okay now.
We still like you. Again.
We still eat croissant. I like a croissant.
Mm-hmm. And a baguette.
A baguette.
So we're being distracted.
Oh, I don't care.
I'm
The
so
war-
distracted.
we've
What are we
got-
talking about right now?
So on January 18th, which is around the time this balloon entered U.S. airspace, the House Oversight Committee has issued a request for the government or University of Pennsylvania to disclose the information about millions of dollars received from anonymous Chinese donors to the University of Pennsylvania Biden Center, which is where a lot of these documentation documents. What was it?
Classified
documents were found in like an unsecure, unlocked closet, and that UPenn Biden Center is a think tank for
Global domination.
Anyway, it's a Biden think tank that's received a lot of money, and on January 18th, it was requested by the House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. He requested information about that because they're thinking that there could possibly be some nefarious Chinese money going into what was at the time the Biden campaign, Biden running for president at the time.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't it be crazy if Biden, let's say in theory Biden's a bad dude, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's a good dude, and all this stuff about like him and his son dealing with China or Russia is just nonsense.
Mhm.
And this whole thing you just said is nonsense. But let's say he's a bad dude and he's doing those things, and this whole balloon thing is like a distraction to like cover things up. Like, do you think he would go to war with Russia over trying to distract people from, like, if he is a bad dude? Do you think someone's that bad where they're like,
Well-
I don't want to go to jail, and I'm willing to put the whole world at
I see what
risk?
you're saying.
Well, it's never the dude. There's the puppet master.
Yeah,
Master.
or puppet master people.
Masters. Yeah, exactly. It's not Biden. I'm sure of it.
Well, it could be like a government. It could be China or Russia that has some kind of leverage.
So would Biden distract people, or would he go to war with Russia to distract people from
His own personal
his
things.
own?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he would.
I'm just pointing out that was the accusation and the insinuation against Trump. They were trying to claim that because Trump watched two girls pee on each other in a hotel, Russia has horrible leverage over him. That's a real thing. Like and still today think that.
Is that the Stormy Daniels thing?
No. This is
This is the other hooker thing.
Right.
This is
Right.
the Watergate 2.0, the waterworks. No, but really, people, that's still a thing. Even though they proved that the documents that purported that this even happened were like totally fake, which they found out now. But still, a lot of people think, oh, Trump and Russia. Russia has leverage over Trump, which didn't make any sense at all. If they had leverage over Trump, why not invade while Trump was president?
Right.
and then he gets out, and as soon as Biden's in, then they invade. That's what's so weird. So it was crazy to insinuate that because it might get out that he watched some girls pee on each other, which in all honesty, he'd probably be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Sorry, wife.
Sorry, as a billionaire.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
But like to say that gains leverage over someone, and even in Biden's situation, let's say he's like a crook his whole life. He's just got dirty. He's a member of the mob pretty much. And every transaction he did his whole life was shady. Every bill he ever signed was like making him money. Even then, is he really going to intentionally throw everyone under the bus?
I don't know. This is getting way too political for me.
No, I don't think that would happen. And it seems like they're almost trying to distract us from the war in Ukraine, which is still serious because it sheds light on how much money we're spending on it. We're spending like so much money on it.
You know what? Maybe I'm just not like tuned into the right channels or avenues, but I feel like in this day and age with drones and cell phone footage and stuff, like this should be the most graphic that war has ever been depicted.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen,
well,
I see shots and they're like, oh, there's a dead body 300 yards down the street.
I think it gets censored a lot, but Joseph Rogan was talking about some of the footage that he's seen over there and how horrendous it is.
Yeah.
And I don't look for it either.
But it's
probably not on YouTube.
But why should we have to look for it? Why isn't it like front page news every day is what I'm saying. Like
for the same reason that rated R movies aren't front page news every day. Like they don't put that graphic stuff out there. Like if you ever see graphic stuff, they usually are blurring it out and stuff. I'm sure you can find it.
Well, and I'm just pointing out the contrast between now and World War II. And granted, we're not, personally, we don't have troops on the ground. But in World War II, you went to see a movie, and the preview to that movie was clips from the front.
Yeah.
And people being shot and killed and stuff like that. Like
I was always getting popcorn at that point. But.
Right. But they were always showing the American people what war is like. This is what you're voting for. This is where your money is going. This is where your kids are being sent. Like that is a transparent way of the government.
Or is that a propaganda way?
Well, it could be that too. Yeah. Like we need to support this war and do that. But isn't there a happy medium? Like if we're sending $40 billion at a time to Ukraine, shouldn't we know what's going on there? Like
I think you can find it.
Yeah.
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, that's YouTube is now that. But it's not come out from the government. It's
well, I'm saying like even news media, why not push it a little more? Like just so you know, this is what's going on. If we need propaganda to send $40 billion, show us more kids dying or something. And I'm not saying like I want to see a bunch of violence, but if we're getting involved, we should be involved. It should not be something that we're like, oh yeah, that happens and I'm going to tune that out, because we're voting for it. We're paying for it. We should be at least emotionally involved in it. I don't know.
Well, you should probably search a little better for some gory stuff so you're okay with it.
Okay, I will. Okay. I'll check back with you next time.
I think that largely speaking, I would say the majority of the people in the country don't care where their money goes, or at least doesn't concern them.
Well, and I think they don't care because it's not shown to them. They have so much like else in their feed. You know what I mean? But if people were
balloons in the sky.
If people were flipping through their TikTok and every 10th thing was like, this is another person that just died in Ukraine.
Oh yeah, that would be China that was helping us out with our own propaganda.
Yeah, well,
China
Facebook or whatever.
Balloons.
Yeah. Well, that would be lizard people because Mark Zuckerberg's a lizard man.
Right.
Oh God, I still have this tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, Jeff,
take that off.
Forgot to tell you about that.
But I'm not saying as a way for propaganda to get people involved in the war, because I think it would actually turn a lot of people away from the war and say, hey, we don't want this happening over there. You know what I mean? We don't want to send $40 billion because that's a whole bunch of rockets that are going to shoot people down and kill them. Russia's going to shoot more rockets. I don't know. Maybe not.
I'm going to show you something that's interesting.
I think we're just...
I'm going to take over your screen monitoring, okay?
Okay.
Do you guys have Snapchat?
No.
Snapchat is a way for me to sometimes get real news, okay? So you can go onto this icon where it's like, and
Heat map?
people, yeah, it's a heat map. It shows where, look, we're hovering over Vegas. There's lots of people posting stuff in Vegas, as
Phil
you can
dancing
imagine.
down Vegas.
There's lots of stuff in Kanab, Utah being posted for some reason. Anyways, if you zoom out, you can go to different parts of the world and be like, oh, what the hell's going on in Dakar,
Yeah.
right? And you can click on that and you can actually see videos of real people that are posting things. But look how interesting this is. United Kingdom all over the place, Northern Africa, Ukraine. Apparently nothing's happening in Ukraine. Why? I bet you.
There is nothing, literally
It's
nothing on your
blocked.
heat map.
And then you go to Moscow, you're like, oh, there's some stuff going on in Moscow. You can click on it and it'll show you, oh, here's this thing. They ate food, whatever. You can see what's really happening. I've actually done this when I see news reports of weird stuff like, shooting in Boston or something. You can zoom in on Boston and see if people are posting about it, right? But it is interesting to me that for some reason on Snapchat, they do not have anything going on in Ukraine.
Maybe they just don't use Snapchat,
What about Norway?
or it's not.
Norway? Yeah, there's stuff going on in Norway here.
Okay.
Norway's on there.
Yeah, when he zooms in, things pop up like some people are using it here or there.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Here's on the coast. Unfortunately, it's a lot of like, here's what I had for lunch. But, yeah. But when there's news things happening like earthquakes, I'm sure if we went to Turkey, we could see stuff about the earthquake, But yeah, it's interesting because then you can go, okay, look, let's go through all of China. Oh, there is stuff in Russia.
Also a dessert.
So why is there not stuff in Ukraine? If they got stuff in Russia,
Yeah.
Anyway, it's weird.
Maybe they just don't have internet. Well, and that's what I'm saying too. Like maybe the footage is being recorded. It's just not getting out because of things. And I'm sure there are videos here and there. But I'm saying in this day and age with like, if Kim Kardashian buys a new swimsuit,
We know.
half the world knows about it, like
Yeah.
in an hour,
Mhm.
But people are dying in a war over there. We don't know what's going on other than like a news headline that like the war's still happening.
Yeah.
We don't get updates on death counts. We don't get like, where they are. It's like all this kind of blurry, like,
It's not trending
yeah,
anymore.
it's not, well, it never really was. I mean, it was for a minute.
It was.
Yeah, for a minute.
A month or two. It
Right.
was definitely like a hot topic. But then as soon as Kim Kardashian got the new bra,
Right.
we all forgot about it.
It used to be, if it bleeds, it leads, but that is no longer the case. People want to not see stuff that's
Too graphic?
upsetting
Yeah.
or disrupts their daily way of life.
It's weird because with the amount of violence we watch in our TV and video games, movies, you'd think that would be like, oh yeah, I can handle that. You'd think it'd be like up on the news every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they can put topless women on TV in the United Kingdom, we can certainly handle people being shot, but apparently not.
Nope, we can't.
Mm-mm.
The world of wusses.
So, what do we do? Do we do government-sponsored previews on movies?
I guess my complaint is really toward the media, like the stuff that they're reporting on, and the way that they're reporting it just seems to be like vanilla
Media's dead.
or
man.
watery. Yeah,
Media's dead.
there's not really
Yeah,
like who would you say is like a good journalist nowadays? Like who's the Tom Brokaw?
I'm Tom
today.
Brokaw.
this is Tom Brokaw.
I honestly, I'm not joking about this. If you look at actual, I don't know if they're the best journalist, but if you look at spherical like influence over data and like portraying what's happening out in the world, you look at guys like Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
He literally contacts more people than the news.
right.
Any one agency from the news contacts. His downloads, subscriptions, whatever he has. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but let's say it's 200 million people. There's no agency. CNN's not pulling in 200 million people a day.
Yeah.
But every episode that Joe Rogan releases, what I'm getting at is that it's just shifting. People are getting their news in different places now.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe that's it. And maybe it's just so like customized and tailored that there isn't really a great way to get information to everybody like there was before. Unless, like you said, Jake, there was some kind of government takeover, like to use your phone today, you had to watch a 20-minute government clip, but then that's like propaganda more than information. I don't know.
Yeah. How many people do you think Joe Rogan reaches? I just threw a number out there.
I think his average listenership is like 30 million, something like that.
So
is that right?
Let's see. I'm trying to see where this even came from. What is this? Sports Kita? I don't know what the hell that is, but Joe Rogan's viewership, it says Joe Rogan's experience reaches an average of 11 million people
11
per
million.
episode.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
But-
that's like twice as many as we
Here
get.
you go. Media ratings. Joe Rogan experience, 11 million. The next one, Tucker Carlson
Third
Tonight.
one, American Forked Podcast. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
3.2 million. The 5 on Fox, right? 2 point.
It's interesting how it's Fox. Well, these are all Fox.
Oh,
stuff.
these aren't podcasts, though.
No, this is
This is news. Yeah.
This is news reaching people.
Yeah. Tucker Carlson, The 5, Hannity, Fox News Prime, The Ingram Engel, Rachel Maddow Show.
Those top 5 are Fox. And then Rachel
MSNBC
Maddow.
and CNN. So CNN is not even reaching 1 million people on average, and Joe Rogan's reaching.
That's insane.
11
how high
million.
that is.
Yeah.
And so, I guess what I'm saying is like, you're talking about the news, talking about this stuff. Guess what? Per this chart, the news, Joe Rogan is talking about it.
How many monthly readers does the New York Times have? Let's find out.
How many
readers
Rowdos.
does New York Times have?
I gave up.
740. Oh, wait. No, they have. Oh, wow. 740,000 print subscribers still. So that's actually pretty good.
But let's be honest,
And
they're getting the crossword puzzle and they're getting the funnies.
So they have 8 million paid digital subscribers. So that's almost Joe Rogan territory just from one newspaper.
Yeah, but
So,
8 million.
That's
well,
8 million subscribers, not
paid
necessarily
subscribers.
people who actively go to download his podcast. That's different.
Yeah.
I all I'm saying is I don't know. But it's still doesn't that blow your mind that a podcast outperforms the New York Times?
It does. And it does show how diversified our media is. So it's not like before where we had three
Yeah.
channels on TV and like 4 major newspapers nationwide or
Right.
something. So
Yeah.
you could kind of unify a message and get it out there. Now it's like really scatterbrained. But, you know, a lot of people like myself get news feeds from like Google or Apple, and companies like that could very easily prioritize
DuckDuckGo.
certain things. DuckDuckGo, Microsoft, you know, whoever like compiles the feed of news that you get. I don't know.
Right.
It just seems to me like the headlines are just not showing war.
But when you
But war
say
is
the
happening.
headlines, what are you talking about?
Well, that's what I'm talking
CNN, NBC, Fox.
The non-Joe Rogan big
No,
ones.
the feeds. So if I click on so I recently started subscribing to Apple News.
That's unfortunate.
And well, the reason I did is because Apple at least claims that they don't prioritize news based on any algorithm or anything. They actually have a team of journalists that actually choose
Mhm.
news, like in the good old days. But anyway,
like Facebook.
top news right now. Kamala Harris says Russia has committed crimes against humanity. So they'll give you a big article on why they've committed crimes, but we're not seeing pictures or photos or anything. It's just like, now we're just trusting Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
I keep saying Camilla. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
why not give evidence behind these claims when the media makes them?
You ask about what journalists are out there. Do you know who Seymour Hersh is? He's apparently a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist who says he has information that the U.S. bombed the Nord Stream pipeline in Russia last year.
Oh, really?
That's another thing that recently came out from him around the time this look up in the sky, we got balloons, that according to Edward Snowden, that's the government's way of distracting you from this information that Seymour Hersh apparently has. That because if indeed the U.S. Navy bombed that pipeline, that would be considered kind of an act of war, and us actively being involved in the war, which would be a huge thing. But no one's talking about that. Seymour Hersh is, and a few other like Democracy Now, The Wire, Reuters, some of the lower rated news outlets are mentioning it, but none of the big ones.
Yeah, and an act, you say act of war. I would think that sending tanks to Ukraine is an act of war.
Yeah,
Money.
we're involving ourselves.
Anti-aircraft missiles. When we started sending the UK stuff in World War II, when Germany was invading, was Germany just like, oh, we'll leave the US out of it? We know now that they were planning a full invasion of the United States because we were getting involved in that war. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It just seems that like this media, it seems to me, if the balloon is a distraction, there is a lot more government media connection than we know about, which shouldn't be. The government should be just as much out of the media as it is out of religion. There shouldn't be this like in bed relationship.
But there is.
But there is.
And it's probably, I would say even no matter what you think how bad it is, it's probably worse. Like, I think it's really bad.
And it's even worse than that.
I think it is. Yeah. Have you ever seen the video of all the different news agencies giving the exact same speech
literally
about
the same,
COVID?
Yeah.
The exact same wording,
Mhm.
the exact same everything.
They do it. I see those montages
Who
a
would
lot.
who would put that out? Who would say every single news agency say this?
Yeah.
If it's not the government, who is it?
Yeah, someone is writing the script for all of these big news plays. Someone is writing, like the same person writing, because they say like the exact same phrases on and on and on, like every single
That's
one
what
of
I
them.
mean. Or are people, did maybe some guy, some nerdy dude with big glasses, looks like Napoleon Dynamite, wrote this code that like compiles news. And he went to all these news agencies and he was like, do you want to keep paying people or you just use my thing? And that's why they're all the same. Because
No.
it's like all computer generated.
Chat GTP.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Have you tried that thing?
No.
Chat GTP?
Yeah.
No.
Jake did it. I did it.
I think that should be a whole nother episode because we could go on and on
Yeah.
about that.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Artificial
About
intelligence.
AI. Yeah.
But anyway.
I'm going to go watch the documentary I, Robot so I know how that ends.
So, yeah, there are some other things we want to talk about, but we're getting a little long. But I guess so basically in order to fix this problem of the real important things being covered is people need to listen to American Fork podcast more. Is
Oh,
that-
that's right. If you
Yeah.
listen more and tell your friends more and donate more to our cause, you'll be fixing America.
We will not fund wars with our Patreon.
No,
That's
And-
a promise.
No, we won't.
we'll
And
fund peace.
and as always, if anyone has property around I-15, North
Yeah.
Utah County to South Salt Lake areas, we'll build a billboard and pay you to
Yep.
advertise our show.
Yeah. But first we want to advertise against the other billboards.
Yeah.
So like you'll drive by one, it'll say, you didn't see this message on other billboards
This is the billboard you were looking for.
because they rejected it. But this one is the good one. Right?
Yep.
That's what I always say.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
thanks for listening. Anybody, did you have anything else? Anything?
No, no.
No.
Nope.
No. Okay.
I better take my tinfoil hat off before I go home, though.
Appreciate everybody who listens. You are awesome and we love you so much.
We love you, listeners and patrons.
And yeah, and our patrons have a special place in our hearts.
They sure do.
So if you want a special place in our hearts, patreon.com/AmericanFork.
Goodbye.
Bye.